for me, one of the richest parts of the class is always getting feedback on our actual writing. That's always, to me, one of my favorite parts of this class, just because it takes us from theory into the practice. I think you're very knowledgeable in terms of breaking down structure, breaking down archetypes, helping us to see what the structure is. You make it very easy for us as students to understand, right? It's like, oh my God, a movie. It's like you hear, how am I going to write a 2 hour movie, right? And it sounds like a really big undertaking, and it is. You show us where these things typically play out. You give examples, we can see them. You ask us, you question us to identify this. It all makes it a lot more tangible and easier for us to wrap our heads around. I do think it's an extremely valuable course. I think that the course itself is something that would also be beneficial in the United States. Even though we have a number of professors and film schools in the US, um, it's subject matter that is really important for a lot of people.
Not every screenwriter can teach how to write screenplays. And I think the content, how you put the content together, your point of view on the movies, on the films that you bring to the table, on how they describe what your point is, I think all of those things were extremely valuable for me and would be extremely valuable to other people. So I do think that the content is very strong, very strong. And I think that the way you present it, I think you're an educator. You're not only a screenwriter, I think you're an educator. I know you're an educator. I come from a family of educators. I never felt like any question was too hard for you. And I never felt like you were giving a very superficial answer to any of the questions, because you truly wanted to understand if you were responding to the question. And I found value in that. The arguments that you've constructed, and they're very, very strong arguments, and you should be passionate about that. And you should stick to those things. I agree with Casey that there's a ton of value in the homework. They were challenging homework assignments. They weren't easy. And I get a lot, not only from hearing your feedback, which I think is very thorough and very precise feedback. I think you give really awesome feedback, and I mean that very sincerely. You didn't want to go easy on anybody. I think you wanted to bring out the best in us. I thought all of those things were really great.